Hello everyone again. I will present new features, charging interface and service discovery control for application software. So first, charging interface. The need of a charging manager or charging interface in AutoZAR comes from the need of electrification in automotive industry. So now AutoZAR will support the communication based on ISO 15118-2 for this year and for the future -20. What this means? We will support AutoZAR support now AC and DC charging and will support also two-way of identification or payment method. EIM, external identification mean, which mean that you need external thing to identify your card, maybe a new card or something like this, to identify the car to the charging station. And the second way, PNC, plug and charge, which means just to plug the car into the charging station, and the car will exchange certificates with charging station to identify and authenticate itself to the charging station. Now we will provide a digital communication between electrical vehicle and electrical vehicle supply equipment based on the ISO 15118-2, and as I said, in the future, just 20. This concept for this year will be in the classic platform and will be for this year based on Ethernet protocol. Okay, what we provide, the charging manager module. This new module will be in the communication stack, in the service layer, will communicate with other modules, will communicate with socket adapter to control the socket connection, will communicate with PDU router to send and receive the messages, the requests, and will communicate with a crypto stack for certificate verification. This module will provide a set of messages to control the charging process. So with V2G messages will be based on the ISO 15118-2. And also this module will provide the compression mechanism EXI, which a compression mechanism to make the communication faster. And will provide the V2GTP, which is a transport protocol defining the structure of the PDU, the header, and the payload of this PDU to be sent in the network. The charging manager module have different state. When you just plug on the car to the charging station, the first stage it will go from initial state to assigning IP address state, in which he will configure or set up the socket connection and assigning IP address to this socket connection. Then he will go to discovering the supply equipment communication connector to discover with UDP connection to discover the charging station. Then we'll go to a secure connection with the charging station and establishing TCP TLS connection with it. Then we'll establish the V2G session in which he will send the messages, and then we'll go on the V2G messages till ending the charging or something happened, need to go to pause state. Here, a set of messages, which those V2G messages. The V2G messages will depend on the charging mode. If it is AC or DC charging, if the identification use is PNC, plug and charge, or external identification mean. So we will have 4 combination: AC charging with PNC, AC charging with EIM, DC charging with PNC, DC charging with EIM. Here you can see one example for the AC charging using PNC. The main difference between PNC and EIM is the certificate exchange. That in case of PNC, the car will identify itself, so it needs to exchange certificate with the charging station. But for EIM, with external card, the car will be identified, so we don't need to exchange certificate. As you can see in this diagram, there is different set of requests and response based on ISO 15118, starting from discovering the service, what services exactly this charging station provide, the details of those services, then exchanging the certificate to identify itself, the car to the charging station, then setting up the charging parameter, then going on the charging. This concept, as I said, this is applicable in this release of AutoSAR. From the upcoming releases in AutoSAR, what we will support, what we will provide in the future. First, the ISO 15118-20, which means we will support the bidirectional charging, the wireless charging, and the charging using pantograph. And also, we will support the Chinese standard for charging based on CAN protocol and the Japanese standard for charging for DC charging over campus, CHAdeMO, will be supported in the next AutoSAR releases.